Hi, INFJs and Autistic INFJs. Let me ask you, do you sometimes worry that others will find out that you're not as capable as you think you are? So this will really stop you from doing the things that you really want to do or chasing after that promotion. Or maybe you'll find yourself often wishing that you were good enough to deserve all those nice things. Maybe it's the house or a nice holiday, or maybe it's just that job that you really, really would love that would bring you so much fulfillment and purpose that you'd be excited to go to every morning when that alarm goes off. If you have thoughts like this, you're not alone. I had them and many more. Many INFJs have these thoughts, similar thoughts and these thoughts, and they play a huge role into why we are not living a life that is full of fulfillment and purpose. And this is what we're talking about today. It's going to be a great topic. So I'm glad that you're joining me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Trina Bretnell. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I love coming on here and sharing things that I have found that have helped me out along the way with hopes of helping one other INFJ or autistic INFJ feel seen, heard, understood, and less alone, because that would have made a huge difference for me years ago, knowing that I wasn't alone. So welcome to my channel. If you're returning, I'm glad you came back. I'm grateful for all my viewers. Before we get into this, I do want to mention, because I'm very excited about this, I opened up registration for the Heart and Mind INFJ Connection Circle. Many of you have reached out to me asking if I could create a safe place where we could connect with each other, INFJs, and get to know each other, where a place where we're not feeling judged ever. And where we can just nurture our growth and healing and feel that we finally fit in. So that's what I did. I have registration open. It's starting in October. We will meet once a month. Everything you need to know is in the descriptions of this video, where I put the link in the description of the video. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click on the link and find out more. All right, let's get into this. It is so common for INFJs to question worthiness, our self-worth. We do this without even realizing that we're doing it. It's a sneaky little culprit coming on, that comes up into us coming on. Sorry, I was just listening to my old dog. I was wondering if he was going to climb the stairs. He has trouble with it and I didn't want him to fall. We learn to question our worthiness when we're young, when we're little kids. This is when it starts, right? So maybe when we were young, we were told we were weird, or we were too sensitive, or we weren't good enough. And we heard that almost on a daily basis. Many INFJs, that will happen to us. We hear it on a daily basis. Now, I've had people say to me, oh, well, quit feeling sorry for yourself. Everybody hears that stuff. Yeah, I know that. I'm sure that everybody in the world has experienced it. However, when you're an INFJ or when you're autistic, you hear it daily and usually multiple times a day. So not everybody can say that. And when you hear it that often, it gets ingrained into that subconscious and it starts basically controlling our life. It controls our decisions, our actions, all of that, right? So it's good to be aware of. I was called weird. I was told that I could never do whatever it was that I wanted to do, right? I would get an idea and I'm like, oh, I just really, really want to do that. And it was quite often I was told, oh, you can't do that. People like you can't do that, right? And I do like to think the people that told us that, their heart was in the right place, just trying to protect us, because oftentimes it was loved ones that would say things like that to us, and that's when it would dig the deepest, right? So when I was told that over and over, no matter what it was that I wanted to do, I started to believe that I was never good enough to do anything at all. I was never good enough for anything. And it didn't matter if it was something I was going to do or if it was something that I wanted to have, that I desired. I was not good enough for it, right? Another common reason is that we grow up with parents who are negative with money. This is a huge one. They have a real negative relationship with money. So maybe they picked apart people that were doing well, right? And the wealthier people in town, maybe they pick them apart and you constantly heard all the negativity about them. Oh, well, they're just snooty and they're uppity ups and oh, well, blah, 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 and whatever. I mean, the list could go on, right? Or maybe they weren't very supportive when somebody like a family friend or maybe even another family member started doing well. Maybe they had success in a business or they seen their way clear and they bought themselves a new vehicle. the loved one around you maybe would pick that apart, like get really jealous and point out how bad it was. And as a child, we link that to that being very bad. It was very bad to have those kind of things. You were a bad person if you had money. You were bad if you had nice things. And we didn't want to be like that, right? We wanted to please. So this is what we would do. We would please people by keeping ourselves small, by hacking on our self-worth. This is where this snowballs into that imposter syndrome, feeling that we're not good enough, that we're scared that people are going to find us out, that we're actually fake, even though we do know our stuff, or that we would really like all these nice things, but we're not worthy enough. We're not good enough to have it. Or we might not allow ourselves to feel good enough to have it because we don't want to be that bad person that's been ingrained in our brain that they are when they have money. Okay, so this all creates this big snowball effect on our self-worth, and this keeps us staying in one place. It becomes a defense mechanism, and it doesn't serve us when we have these thoughts, because these thoughts will actually start limiting our potential, and it will stop us from going after what we deserve. Not what we deserve, what we desire. Again, I was listening for my dog over there. I should stop doing that because I'm losing my words. It will stop us from going after what we desire, avoiding those risks to the point where it will cause us anxiety. That was me, right? After being picked apart all the time, telling myself, or getting told that I was weird, no matter what I wanted to do. Oh, you can't do that. That's not for you. Well, then when things would come up as an adult and it was something I really, really wanted to do, whether it was a job or an opportunity that I noticed, I would actually get anxiety about it. And I would start beating myself up about the fact that I even wanted to pursue it. And inside of me, it was like I had somebody laughing at me, like, oh, I can't believe that you would even want to do this sort of thing. And it would make me feel so bad and so guilty. And then it would start feeling selfish because I wanted to do this, because I wanted to have a good life. And that's very selfish. And I just wouldn't do it then. I wouldn't take the risk. I wouldn't even attempt to do it. And it was small things. When I think back now, some of those things were such small things and I was capable of doing it. But it doesn't serve us to have these thoughts at all. We need to break a cycle because that's what it becomes. It's a cycle. And again, like I said, oftentimes we don't even know what's going on. I wasn't even aware that I was having these thoughts about it. I was aware that it would cause me anxiety. But I would say, oh, it's just butterflies. I'm just nervous. And then I would find reasons why I couldn't do it, why I didn't go apply for the job or whatever, right? And all it was this cycle. I had to break the cycle that stops us from living our most fulfilling life, because each one of us is worthy and capable of doing what it is that we want to do with our life, or having what it is that we want to have. We're definitely worthy for it. I believe that we were all put on this earth to do the things that we want to do. When we want to do something, that's leading us down the path to serving our purpose. And when we're serving our purpose, we're feeling fulfilled. We're feeling amazing because this is our purpose. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And it may not make sense to somebody else, and that's okay because it's not their purpose, it's yours. It doesn't have to make sense to them. So it could be something crazy. Like, I love coming and doing these YouTube videos for you guys. A lot of people look at me and roll their eyes like, oh my gosh, why would you do that kind of thing? Well, I like doing it. It gives me purpose, gives me fulfillment, showing up and helping one other person feel seen, heard, and understood, because that would have made a huge difference for me. So that's what I do, right? So when we get flack from other people, it's okay because it's not their purpose. They don't have to understand it, but we do have to break that cycle of having those thoughts that, oh, we're not good enough and people are going to find us out if we're doing this and we're just pretending that we think we know what we're doing, or we're not worthy, we're not lucky enough to have that kind of life, right? That's all a cycle that we need to break. So the first thing that we need to do for an INFJ to break this negative cycle, to find a life full of fulfillment, is challenge that negative self-talk when it comes up. Okay, this takes mindfulness practice, and I say practice because for an INFJ, that's what it is. We need to practice mindfulness because it doesn't come naturally for us. We are stuck in our head all the time. We spend lots of time in our head, and for the most part, that's a healthy place for us to be. But there are times throughout the day that we need to pull ourselves out of our head back into our body and practice mindfulness of what's going on so that we can grasp that negative self-talk, challenge it, and make it more positive, starting off slow, right? Starting off small. So we don't want to say, oh, I'm not good enough to have a life like that, and then catching it and saying, oh, I'm amazing, I can take that life, I can have that life. We say it like that, our subconscious is going to be like, what? Well, that's a lie. So we're going to start out small. When we catch ourselves saying that negative self-talk that we aren't good enough for that life, start out small, that you know what? I think I'm not good enough for that life, but today I'm a little better than I was yesterday because now I just caught myself saying that. That's truth. And the subconscious is going to be like, yeah, okay, that's the truth. We're okay with that one. So it's not going to cause inner turmoil. The second thing to do is set small goals. Okay, we are very good at setting large goals that are outrageous, that we cannot conquer. That's our perfectionism coming in. And we think that it's a form of self-love to push ourselves to these goals, even though we know we are never going to achieve them. This is self-sabotage. Do not do that. Set small goals, even if they sound so small that it's a waste of time setting that goal. Do it. Even if it's a goal you know you're going to achieve that day. Set that as a goal. Write it down as your daily goal. When you achieve it, give yourself a pat on the back. You don't have to have a party. Acknowledge, hey, you know what? I did this. I did this. I achieved that goal. This is building confidence in yourself, and we need this. When our self-worth is being hacked on our entire life, we need to start building that confidence in ourselves. And then celebrate those small wins. Like I said, that's the third thing, is celebrate the small wins. This enforces our sense of worth, and it starts building that positive momentum that, hey, you know what? I did this. These were all small goals, but once they add up, we start seeing the momentum and we acknowledge that we're doing all of this so that we can see that we've achieved, and the momentum keeps going and it starts building the confidence and heck yeah, I can do this. I can do that. And pretty soon you'll start noticing that your goals start to get a little bit bigger, but still achievable, and you're still doing it. And it's leading you down a different path, and fulfillment is just right around the corner. It's right there if it's not there already. And also it helps shift when we're celebrating our wins, even if they're small. This is key. It's helping shift our focus from what is lacking in our life to what is being achieved. Oftentimes when we're stuck in that imposter syndrome of thinking we aren't good enough, or playing small because we're worried somebody's going to find us out that we don't know really what we're doing, or wanting the things that we don't have yet, we're really stuck in the lack. And when we get stuck in that, our brain thinks that's what we want to see. There's whole science behind it. I'm not going to get into it, but it's quite interesting. So our brain will actually start showing us more of what we want. It's going to start showing us more lack. So we need to stop that cycle as well. And noticing and celebrating those small wins helps break that cycle, and it starts rewiring the brain to start showing you what it is that you've achieved, which starts creating that momentum of let's go, let's do this, I can do this, of the confidence. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please like my video, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, because the more subscriptions, the more better my channel does, and that's really what keeps the channel going, and I'm very grateful for you for it all. And yeah, I hope it was helpful. That's what I have for you today. And remember, you are perfect just the way you are. No matter what anybody says to you, you are perfect just the way you are. You are good enough. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you again very soon with another fun video. Bye for now.